Hey, Jason here. You are currently in my office. Welcome. I would like to do something different today and talk about truck driving in the UK and what lifestyle is like and how I came into this job and pros, cons. So I've been driving for 11 years now. I've done tramping, which is where you live inside a truck. I've done day work. I've done curtain sliders, which is the big old trailers with the curtains on it. I've done flatbeds, which is the ones with no curtains. I've done tippers, which is the ones that go up in the air, and I've done low loaders, the ones that are right to the floor. I've done oversized. I've done many aspects of the job, and the only two things I haven't done are livestock and cars, because that sounds like hell on earth, and I wouldn't want to do that. Rewarding job in many ways, but a lonely job, and I can't underestimate how lonely this job can get at times, especially if you're living in this job. You spend most of your time alone. Thank God there's YouTube, because that really maintains the sanity to listen to podcasts and videos in general. I would say it's an introvert's paradise, an extrovert's hell. So if you're an introverted person and you kind of feeling a bit lost in life, might I suggest considering truck driving. The pay side of it, if you work for like mega corporations, they will more than likely take newer starters. They have schemes which are like, you don't know how to drive, I'll teach you how to drive, but you're going to stay with us for 2 years. Pay is without a doubt usually better with these major companies, but they also have a lot more regulations. You have inward facing cameras, your routes are kind of predicted, you lose freedom in exchange for more money. Um, I've worked, I'd say 200 plus jobs in my career. I started off as an agency driver. When I came out of the military, I got my license through them, thankfully, because infantry skills don't really do a whole lot in the real world. I started as an agency driver. I started at class two, and I did that for a year, and I got some experience with the road. And then I moved on to class one. And class one, you generally get more distance. Class two, you're getting more multi drop. Class two are the smaller trucks. Class one are the big trucks. Along this journey of exploration within the industry through agency, you discover a lot about you and what's important to you. So, I started off doing general haulage, which is curtain slider stuff, and you get a mixture of loads. It's generally a pretty laid back and relaxed. I went from there to fridges, and that's like a box trailer with a fridge on it. You sit around a lot, you wait a lot. Containers, you sit around, you wait a lot. Like half your time is just sitting and waiting. I've done flatbeds, and that's beautiful in the summertime, really crap in the wintertime. I've done tippers, and that is the most adrenaline fueled thing ever, because you've got to work nonstop. It is go, 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 go. And I've currently back to doing general haulage, and I'm very happy with the field I work in, because it's really laid back. Like, I'm recording this video. I just was like, you know what? I want a 15-minute break. I'm just gonna pull over, slap this on record, throw a video together. I love that freedom of it, and that is a benefit that not all of the fields have. I mentioned before about the major companies that have all these inward facing cameras and all these regulations and set routes. You will generally make more money through them, but you lose a lot more freedom. Personally, for me, freedom is one of my highest values. It's something I highly, highly value. And I happily take a pay cut to work for a smaller firm that doesn't have the inward facing cameras. It doesn't mind if I park up for this 15 minutes when I want to. They leave me alone, and that's worth the pay cut itself. And as you go through, if you were ever to get into this career, and I think the line of work that you do end up doing really teaches you a lot about you. And you got a lot of time to think. You get a lot of time to listen to things, and if you're smart with that, you will learn. You will read books. You will learn about whatever hobby you love. You learn about the news, whatever the heck. Um, and with enough time, the content you consume really starts shaping you. And that's the beauty of this job, is you don't necessarily have the boss over your shoulder. You don't have that annoying coworker. You are a slave to the wheel, but you're auditorily free. That is, for me personally, the biggest benefit of this job. Um, as far as this career, and I mean, if you're a single dude in his 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, and you don't have any kids or no responsibilities, and you don't kind of just lost in life, good God, get this license and get Europe work if you can. You can be left alone for freaking weeks or months at a time, and you do like 70-hour work weeks. I don't remember the last time I had a paycheck that was under £700 a week take home, like after tax and everything. There's a lot of money in it because you do so many hours. But if you don't have responsibilities and you are okay working, you can just go. If you live in that truck, your expenses go down. It's a really easy way of life. You just don't have the rest of life. Like, there is no work-life balance in this. You're doing 15-hour shifts with 9 hours off. Like, if you're living in the truck, it's easier to pull them hours. Where I've got to in my life right now is I've managed to work a deal where I have a bit of both. I have manageable hours, and that allows me to have a normal life. But it took me a long time to get to that point where I could do that and make enough money to enjoy life. The future of the industry is, I speak to a lot of drivers about this, and everyone's like, it could never happen here. Automation's coming. Like, it's gone live at the start of this month over in Texas, this company called Aurora Innovations. It's self-driving, fully automated trucks. And it can 1000% happen here. So you would have these RDCs, which are regional distribution centers. You would have one down in London, let's say, and then one up in Birmingham. And you would have this automated truck just running that route. And you would have local contractors that would grab the trailer and deliver it. So this is future related. Like, I'm talking 20, 30 years before we probably actualize it in the UK. And that's going to fix the driver shortage, but it's also going to really change the industry, where right now it's so much freaking work. You can just change a job at the drop of a pen. At that point in time, it's going to get more scarce. So I don't see a happily forever after as a career in this. But I think if you're in a spot right now where you are feeling lost, where you don't know what to do in your life, where you need more money, where you just need a change, this is an amazing job for that. Like, I'll put it in perspective, right? So if you're tramping, you're living in your truck, right? You can work 15-hour days. 15, let's say 3 of them, 2 13s. So you're getting the hours and you're pulling the money. You don't necessarily have to have a home. You could live in a caravan if you wanted to, keep your expenses low. With your off time, you throw in, let's say, part-time university, you can get a degree and while making all this money, and you could do the degree, and in 6 years' time, you're walking away with a degree and probably enough money to buy a house. And it's not a bad job for that. Like, it's a great job to have a leg up. The biggest issue I see is people that stay in this from like 20 years old and they get to their retirement age and they have not actually developed a life outside of this, because there is no work-life balance, right? So they'll be grinding away, get to retirement. They don't know who they are anymore, and they end up freaking dying because they don't know what else to do with their life. This just keeps happening. I keep seeing it over and over. So it's, I think, a great industry to get into, but have an exit plan and have an intention while you're doing it. Don't lose yourself in the job. Because I came from the military where I was infantry based and I didn't have a whole lot of ambitions and aspirations in life. So this was just, I guess I'm becoming a truck driver. It's the only skill I got. And for 5 or 6 years, easy, loved it, loved the music, cool. After a while, I felt like I was in a prison that I couldn't escape from, because I didn't have any other skills, and the amount I was working, that I just couldn't see a way out of this. And I tried a lot of different things, and this is why I'm saying, like, university is a really good path. There's a lot of awesome options. Open University, I mean, look into them if this is something you're interested in, because there's so many course options. You can student loan it, so you don't have to have any upfront money on that. And that's a beautiful path that can open if you were that way inclined. me doing this channel, like everything I'm talking about is I'm listening to books, or I'm listening to YouTube, or I'm sitting here just brewing on things and thinking on things. It comes from the solitude. It comes from that auditory freedom. So if you're waking up every single day and you're like, good God, this life, I'm waiting to die at this point. I can't wait for retirement. And I think that's a really rough place to be. This is a potential uh, side shift. Like if we're going forward in a path, you have ways to go sideways and ways to go up. This is kind of like that. This is a progression chart that if you're stuck and you can't get above, let's say, a warehouse or you're a cook, or you're doing some minimum wage job that you can't see a way out of, this is a great, I'll make some money, I'll study, I'll go forward on another path. It's a great sidestep. The biggest concern and the word of warning that I'll give everyone that's listening to this, that ever considered this, is it's really hard to maintain relationships. Most of my relationships have ended with this job because I'm never ever there. Well, the hours I'm working, it's like I'm home for 2 hours before sleep. That's being optimistic. That's definitely a downside. And friendships also is like, you can't necessarily do clubs. You can't, I don't know, go do a martial arts on a Tuesday after work. You lose that flexibility. There's a monolithic trade-off to this. So, like, as a general statement, if anyone's got this far, is plan a route, but understand that every route has a sacrifice. At the end of the day, you have to pick your path because it's your responsibility to do your thing. No one else's. Pick your path. It's been Jason. You do you. And like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. All right. Have a great day.